Last week I fired Whoop's marketing team because there was way too much stuff going wrong. In this video I'll explain how and why I did it. I was looking to buy a health tracking device and I wanted to see what's out on the market. My first thought was Whoop because high performers like Ronaldo, Mike Thurston and LeBron James use it, and I've heard great stories about it, so it must be good, right? But I encountered something crazy, because when I searched for health tracking device on Google, Whoop didn't even show up. I ended up buying the Whoop, but this flaw, it was something that I couldn't ignore. So while I was waiting for my Whoop to come in, I spent hours on creating this plug and play strategy with a crazy amount of optimizations for Whoop, and of course, I also fixed the flaw. It got implemented, which eventually increased Whoop's sales by more than 20%. And honestly, most online stores I come across should optimize those things as well. Because so many of them make the same stupid mistakes and they leave thousands of dollars on the table. And with this increase in sales, my boy Will, the founder and CEO of Whoop, decided that his marketing team was no longer necessary and told me that he fired them. Which is pretty crazy, right? Then, finally my Whoop arrived, but when I opened the box, I saw something I didn't expect. There was a note from Will that said, "I didn't fire my team, this was all a joke. But your strategy is so valuable and so many online store owners make those same mistakes that you have to give it away so that they can benefit from this amazing Google Ads strategy and optimization points." So in this video, I will walk you through the whole strategy, and you can even get access to the complete plug and play strategy and optimization points through the link in the description below, so you can implement everything for your own online store. All right, let's start here. The wearable market is exploding and Whoop is positioned perfectly with a subscription-first performance model instead of just another smartwatch. But during my research, especially in markets like Europe, right, something stood out. Whoop is missing high intent search visibility, not branding, not awareness, actual buying intent. And that's where the real revenue lives. So this entire plan is pretty simple. We redesign the Google Ads ecosystem to unlock at least 20% on sales growth without wasting extra budget. Okay. So the first problem inside the strategy is the following. Most big brands make the same mistake in Google Ads. They win on brand traffic, but lose on category demand. And that's exactly what's happening here. So people are searching for health tracker or sleep monitor or recovery tracker, but Whoop isn't dominating those searches. So competitors like, for example, Garmin or Aura, they are. And that means that Whoop enters the journey too late. And when you enter too late, you pay more and convert less, as you can see right here. Now, there's only one Whoop, and that's advertised by Amazon. So they have zero control on what the visitor is retargeted at or what the landing page looks like, etc., right? So Whoop isn't in here themselves. Now, fix number one is a full funnel keyword domination. To unlock real growth, we don't just scale budget. We scale coverage across the entire decision journey, which means top of funnel, middle of funnel, and bottom of funnel. So top of funnel, we have biohacking, longevity, and performance curiosity in this case. Middle of funnel, we have terms like best health tracker or a sleep tracking device. And then bottom of funnel is Aura versus Whoop, for example, or Whoop price. And that bottom layer is pure gold because that's where the undecided buyers sit. They don't know if they want to buy, they want to see the price, they want to see if Aura is maybe better. And if you capture those, that's when your revenue shifts fast, as we can see right here. Now, fix number two is the hidden 20% profit lever called a CSS. Now, this is where it gets interesting because inside Europe and the UK, there's a structural Google Ads advantage most brands ignore, which is CSS partners. If you use Google's default shopping setup, part of your bid never even enters the auction. If you switch to a CSS partner, you instantly gain roughly 20 to 25% more bidding power without spending more money. And that alone can unlock more impression share, lower CPCs, more category visibility, and higher profitable scale. And this is where usually the fastest revenue wins are in the EU e-commerce accounts and the UK as well. And as we can see right here, Google asks for a 20% commission on every click, which means that if you have a 10K budget that cost you 2K, so the effective budget is 8K. Now, if you would have a CSS partner, like Big Shopper, for example, you have a fixed monthly fee that's 29 euros. okay, 29 euros. And that means that your effective budget is 9,971, which is crazy. Now, fix number 3 is stop letting Performance Max inflate your ROAS. So most Performance Max setup looks amazing on paper, but because they are overserving on brand traffic, remarketing, and existing demand. And that means that it's not real growth. And instead of doing that, okay, instead of doing all this shit, what we do is we guide Performance Max using search themes, competitor signals. We drop the URL and create a audience based on that. And we use category intent. And then we force the algorithm, in this case, to hunt for people who are searching for example, best HRV wearable, or alternative or biohacking tools. And that's how Performance Max becomes a growth engine, not a reporting illusion, because that's usually what happens in Performance Max. You don't see the data. Now, fix number 4 for Whoop's Google Ads strategy is a persona-driven YouTube and demand gen approach. Whoop isn't for everyone. It's for obsessed athletes, high-performance entrepreneurs, and biohackers, which means high lifetime value, high intent, and high willingness to invest. So the creative strategy should mirror that. And that means entrepreneur messaging towards sleep readiness and cognitive performance, and athlete messaging towards strain, recovery, and muscular load. And those are two completely different psychologies, two completely different funnels, and should have two different landing pages as well. So we have the entrepreneur and then the athlete. Now, fix number 5 is the post-click experience. So we have these two audiences, right? The entrepreneur and the athlete. We want to nurture that post-click as well. So this is where most skill dies. Perfect targeting leading to a generic homepage page. So instead, what we did is we built a one-to-one intent to landing page alignment. And that means if the entrepreneur clicks, it gets a landing page with performance and sleep optimization stories. And then if an athlete clicks, they get information about strain, HRV, training data, proof, etc., etc. And we add in this free trial framing, and the conversion friction drops massively. As we can see, the athlete's landing page and then the entrepreneur's landing page. Now, fix number 6 is AI lifecycle orchestration, which is just a fancy word of telling the account what to do with all the data and making sure that the data is right. So modern Google Ads isn't just about keywords anymore. It's about new customer acquisition signals, retention bidding, first data loops, first-party data loops, and then omni-channel measurement. And when done right, the system doesn't just acquire users. It finds better ones, keeps them longer, and reactivates churn. Okay? And that's where sustainable growth actually comes from. So we built this ecosystem with the Performance Max structure, with the demand gen structure, with the right search queries, and just make sure that people are coming in the loop and staying in the loop. Okay? Now, TLDR is this. The 6-month roadmap to plus 20% sales is in the first 2 months, we unlock auction efficiency by enabling CSS partner in Europe and making sure that search coverage is expanded to the search terms that we want to end up on. Then months 3 and 4, we want to launch a persona-driven YouTube and demand gen campaign. Okay, so build dedicated landing pages and making sure that the right creatives land at the right people. Now, months 5 and 6 is all about activating the AI lifecycle bidding, which means profitably scale acquisition and reducing churn, right? That's the full system, not hacks, not tricks, just architecture. And that's what creates the predictable 20% growth for Whoop. Now, the closing statement is as follows. If Whoop fixes its visibility, tightens its funnel alignment, and leverage AI and EU auction advantages, their Google Ads ecosystem becomes an actual growth engine. And that shift alone is worth millions in incremental value. I hope you got some value out of this. And if you want to see everything in detail for yourself, you can of course get access to this complete plug and play strategy and all the optimization points through the link in the description below. And if you're interested in what other potential you might be wasting with your current Google Ads setup, you can book a free audit with me or someone from my team through the other link in the description below, and we would hope to see you there.